Welcome everybody to this new series of open knowledge exchange between community managers and community leaders. And also welcome to everybody who is new to this series. This is definitely a series for people to exchange knowledge. Today we have Raquel Winkler of Micro Focus telling her amazing story about how she's running a community and what kind of benefits you can expect from such a community. So people always tell me to tell a little bit about myself. So here are the 4 things that you can wake me up on. I'm from a young child already a triathlete. I don't know how I got into that, but the only thing I still do is cycling. I'm a family man. I'm a self-taught musician, and I have a runaway hobby called aviation. So this is about me. So anything you want to talk about me, then yeah, you can wake me up in the middle of the night on this stuff. I am partner and founding partner of 3 Sites. We are also partner with a number of vendors, in this case, Variant, Higher Logic, Insided, and Vanilla. And with that, we are able to service customers in various situations and various needs. If you want to talk to me, then it's a simple Wilfried at 3sites.co, and of course on LinkedIn. This is about me, enough about me. Then about you. First of all, we sponsor a concept called Community Leaders Forum. And this is what we decided to create 1.5 years ago. And we had a number of series already, but we learned that as the group has grown, we needed to change a bit. And the current format is we have quarterly webinars where one of us talks about their use case. We will continue the more deeper conversations in meetups. Well, every third Thursday. You may wonder why every third Thursday. Well, it rhymes, and that is what everybody remembers. And the first one will start in Jan because Christmas is not a good time to start meetups. And we have a Slack channel which we will intensify to use. And some of the people already call me directly through chat or through Slack. I'm just working, and all of a sudden, beep, there's somebody calling me on Slack. Hey, I need to talk to you about something. And this is the way we operate. We're very grassroots. We're very simple. We're easy to approach. And yeah, that's enough about 3 Sites and that Community Leaders Forum. A recap for those who have not been with previous sessions. We still have content and documents on the previous versions. We had David Russell from the National Autistic Society, Ellen Bergdahl from Macmillan Cancer Support. We had Nick Baker also in the call now of the Football Association. In this case, we talked about team change management. And Yashrai we had in September, also from Sophos. And we talked about the ROI as a theme. And Yashrai is also in this meeting. But, you know, the stage is actually for Raquel. Raquel and I, we've been working for more than a year together, I think, right? And it was an interesting ride. I think let's stay with that. But we got there, and the more I see your story, I said, look, you need to tell this story. And Raquel has agreed to do this for this current audience. So I'm going to stop presenting. Let me stop presenting. I will give the show to Raquel.
Great. Thank you, Wilfried. Let me just share my screen here.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see it okay?
I can. Yeah.
And I'm not popping out of the screen like you were, right?
No.
I don't want to.
This is complete. This is bona fide.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thanks so much for having me. Like as Wilfried said, my name is Raquel Winkler. I manage the Micro Focus online community along with 6 other individuals. Some of them are on this call. So I just want to spend some time talking about, you know, how we got to where we are today, where we have a pretty large community. So I'll give you a little history first. I started at HP Software many years ago, and back in 2009, we decided to launch our first online community specifically for HP Software. We launched it on the Lithium platform obviously started very small, and we focused our first few years really around just marketing campaigns, promoting the community, making sure our customers all knew that the community existed, and it slowly grew and became very robust. Then in 2016, we had the software security product line in HP Software. They had their community on Jive. So we knew that the acquisition of Micro Focus of HP Software for Micro Focus was pending. So we started to prepare for that. So we migrated the software security products over to the Lithium platform. So we went from 2 communities to 1. Then in 2017, Micro Focus acquired HP Software. We then discovered that Micro Focus had 7 different communities, each one on a different platform. So that was really fun. We had to basically migrate one at a time into the Lithium, or now called Koros platform. So we spent about 2 years doing that. Some were smaller than others, some were a bit more complex. Each one had its own unique flavor and challenges that went with it. But we learned a lot along the way, and we managed to retain most of the users from each of the communities. And as we did that, obviously the community continued to grow. And then once in 2020, we were, just kind of moving along. We were using Koros, and for a variety of reasons, we decided that it was best for our community, our company strategy, to move to Telligent. We found that Telligent is much more open, and being able to, customize for our needs. The support and services they offer are excellent. The pricing was where it needed to be. So we then spent a year, and there's a typo there, a year, or maybe 8 months, migrating over to Telligent. And since the end of April 2021, we've been on the Telligent platform. So the last 6 months or so, we've basically just been just getting used to the new platform and making tweaks and improvements and some customization and whatnot. I'll talk about how we do that and how we manage this community. So as I mentioned, it is a very large community. We have 90,000 members. We receive about 4 million monthly content views and about 500,000 unique views. We have about 140 plus products that we represent across the community. So basically each of those products has its own mini community, and I'll talk about that structure a little bit. We have 9 blog categories and about 250 community groups. As you can see here, we also have approximately 2.5 million pieces of content in the community. That includes forum posts, wiki posts, blog articles, ideas, and so on. And not only do we have a lot of views, but we also have a great deal of engagement, as you can see, with the 330,000 interactions. So that includes when people suggest an answer, verify an answer, like content, and so on, subscribe to a page, and there's a whole slew of different things that are considered interactions. We also receive about 4.5 thousand new members each month, and that number stays consistent. Along with our new content, we're right about 3,000 new pieces of content every month, and those numbers are staying pretty consistent as we're moving month to month. So this is what the community looks like. The picture on the left here is the home page. Essentially, we have a banner here where we feature our blog articles. We all do that manually, where we just find the most interesting articles or the most recent ones, and we put them here for a couple of days. I mentioned we have 9 blog categories, so we do have some pretty strict rules around how long we feature these articles because we have to take turns and we have to share. We also have been sharing some wiki posts, so we have support tips that are very interesting to our users. I should add that the majority of our users are technical software practitioners. They are the ones that are using our products day in and day out. So you can probably see from the headings of the topics that you see here in our activity stream, the questions are very technical and very specific. On the home page, our goal is basically just to make search very prominent here. And we also have search on every page on every header. We have a hamburger menu to help people navigate to their product area that they're interested in. And we also have this Ask and Explore button, which takes you to our product A to Z listing, and then also a link to our blogs. Otherwise, our home page is really just a consolidation of all of the posts across the community. And it's a combination of discussions, ideas, wiki posts, and everything just here, basically just kind of showing signs of life activity. And then I mentioned we have about 140 to 150 products that we represent in the community. This is one of our products, and this is an example of how the product pages look like. So this essentially is a mini community within our larger community. So ALM Octane, one of our products, has its own community, and each product looks like this. They all have an area for discussions. They have wikis for tips and information and news and events. News and events is self-explanatory. Tips and info is where we post support tips, how-tos, best practices, quick notices about new releases, collateral, customer stories, and things like that. And then we have our idea exchange. Most of our products have idea exchange. I'll get into some detail about how that works. And then we have 9 blog categories. So ADM is one of our product groups or solution areas, and this product belongs to ADM. So the blog categories are a bit higher level at the solution area or product group area. And then every product area also offers links to microfocus.com and our support website and things like that, any relevant links. So let's talk a little bit more about our product pages. Again, here's an example of another product, Operations Bridge. It's part of our IT Operations Management Solution or product group area. It has discussions. This is where our customers go to ask very specific technical questions about how to use our products. We monitor that. Our team monitors it. Our product teams help, and then support, and our community knowledge partners who are our community VIPs or super users. They also help to monitor. The blogs are, again, at a higher level, at the product group level. They include articles about thought leadership or very detailed product related articles. Most, I would say, of our articles in this community are product related. They dive into the how to best use our products most efficiently. And then we have a tips and information area, which is a wiki, like I mentioned, and you can see here the types of content that we post there, and then our news and events. And idea exchange is where our customers submit enhancement requests or ideas for our products. Other customers can comment and vote on those ideas, and then we monitor those. Our product management team monitors and moderates that entire process, and we'll get into a little more detail there. So this is, an awful lot, as you're probably thinking. It's we have 140, 150 products, but there's about 300 user discussion forums in the community. So how do we manage this day to day? Well, we have a team on our team, we have myself, who manages the entire community, the strategy, and then we have what we call neighborhood managers or product group managers. So each of those managers is responsible for one or two areas within the community. So, for example, we have someone responsible for IT operations management. We have someone else responsible for our security products, someone else responsible for application delivery management, and so on. So there's 6 product groups, and we have 4 community managers to manage those and oversee those day to day. So those neighborhood managers work very closely with many people across Micro Focus. We can't do this alone. The volume is, it's huge. So we work with product marketing. They they're primarily our bloggers. Product management helps to answer questions. They also moderate the idea exchange. Pre-sales is very involved in answering questions for customers. Same thing with our support team. They're monitoring, they work closely with us where we look for unanswered posts and then we send them to our support organization and then they help to answer them. We also put together online community events where support is very much involved as is pre-sales, product management, and product marketing. Our community knowledge partners are our super users. So these are people we've identified as being extremely active and helpful in the community. They answer a lot of questions for our other users. So we have an area for them, a private area for them where we can have discussions with them. We recognize them. We feature them in the community. We let people know who they are. We reward them in various ways by giving them access to maybe some training and things like that to help as we increase their knowledge and their expertise. They in turn continue to help answer questions in the community and share their knowledge. We also work with our customer advisory boards. We have private areas set up for them. So our customer advisory board team manages those communities. Our digital marketing team is a key player as well, where they help with their web developers, help with some of our customized projects that we may need, some design improvements. They're very much involved. We make sure that we're cross promoting the microfocus.com website while they're also promoting the community on all of their pages. So and then finally campaigns is where we're basically just helping to promote upcoming events and any activities that they might be involved in. So as you can see, our neighborhood managers stay very busy. They're very well engaged with all of these different groups. It definitely makes for a very interesting job, and day to day, every day is different for us because in addition to obviously working with these individuals, we're also dealing with the users and answering their questions and helping them navigate across the community and whatnot. So it takes a lot of people to stay engaged. So a few key projects that also help us with how to keep the community going and make sure that engagement stays high and that we're still growing, with new members, we're bringing new members in and whatnot. These are some of them, and I'll go into a little bit of them, a little bit of detail here. So we have a rewards and recognition program just across the community. We do gamification where we have achievement badges. So users will get badges for, oh, you started a discussion, you've started 10 discussions, you commented, you liked something. There's a whole bunch of different achievement badges we do, and on a regular basis we create new badges to keep things interesting for our users. We have most of the badges are part of the Intelligent platform, out of box, what's available, but we also have created our own, and we also have some new, some manual ones that we do. So our knowledge partners have their own badge so that people can identify them as knowledge partners. We might give badges out for someone attending one of our virtual events and so on. Our knowledge partner, our super user program, is again a very elite group of people who are experts in their area. They provide a lot of knowledge to our users, and we in turn give them, access to training or access to trial downloads through a different route, access to beta testing and things like that. So again, it's a very small group. We recruit new knowledge partners about twice a year. But it is a very small and elite group because we really want to make them rock stars in our community, if you will. Idea exchange is another area where we spend a lot of time and effort in. So we have about 75 idea exchanges. They're all for products. Since we launched this, we have about 20,000 ideas that have been posted, 100,000 votes. Our product managers moderate this. They're responsible for the whole process. We do work very closely with them. We've created some custom automation for reporting for them so they can quickly see who's posted, who's voted on ideas, how many ideas they have, what statuses the ideas are in, and so on, so that we try to make their job as easy as possible. We've also created some integration with other tools. So Tableau for deeper analytics, so they can run reports to see how many ideas have been in the status of new idea for longer than 5 days, or they have SLAs for how many votes does each idea need before it gets pushed to the next status of accepted, for example, so they can, again, run reports against their SLAs. We also have an integration with our own product, ALM Octane, where all ideas that are accepted are then tracked through our ALM Octane product, and then until that's delivered.
Another 15 minutes, Raquel.
Okay. We have also areas for our customer advisory boards and user groups. So very specific user groups might need private areas. So we create those very often, and we work closely with the individuals who have requested them to make sure that they are in fact moderating those areas, that they stay active and whatnot. Another area that's very important for us is working closely with our support organization. So we hold online expert days, where basically are virtual online events within the community. Our users are just visit the same discussion forum that they always do. Basically, the difference is that during a given period of time, we have our experts online actively answering those questions. Usually they're about 4-hour events, and we found that activity increases from anywhere from 200 to 1,000% during those events. So it's critical for us to have our support engineers there who know how to answer these questions. Our support engineers also help with posting tips. Hey, we found this bug and this is what we're doing to fix it, or we found this issue and here's how you fix it. They're very quick tips. It's not an in-depth blog article or anything, but our users find them extremely useful. And then metrics and reporting, we do spend an awful lot of time looking at our metrics. Our neighborhood managers really dive in deep to see what's going on within their neighborhoods or their specific product areas. We have formulas to look at support call avoidance. We then also provide feedback to other teams across Micro Focus about the type of questions that we're receiving, and our metrics help us always look for areas for improvement. What is there a community that isn't getting enough activity? Why is that? Let's talk with other folks across Micro Focus and see what we can do. In addition to looking at the metrics that Telligent provides, we do use Google Analytics a bit. We think SEO is obviously very important. So all of our titles, our descriptions are all, SEO friendly, if you will. We look at our refers. Are we having enough traffic coming from our own websites? Are we cross promoting enough, and so on. And we also work closely with the marketing and social media to promote the community. So let's talk a little bit about idea exchange. So prior to having ideas in the community platform, the process was basically that a customer would call our support organization, and the support engineer would basically say, okay, well, this sounds like an enhancement request. Would you like me to open this as an enhancement request for you? The customer would say yes. The support engineer would then submit it into an internal tool, and then it would be sent to product managers for them to review. The only way a customer could get updates on those enhancement requests would be by calling support again and asking for an update. So now most of our products are on the community and have idea exchanges, and basically customers can just visit the idea exchange for their product, post their enhancement request there, and then have other customers comment and vote on it. Our product managers, serving as idea moderators, monitor those pages daily, and they basically work on updating the status. They can say, okay, this is a legitimate idea, let's move it into waiting for votes, or I need more clarification, so they'll contact the customer and change the status or needs clarification, or this is a duplicate, they can merge an idea into another one, and so on. So we spend a great deal of time, like I mentioned, looking at the metrics and analytics around this. It's very important for us to be able to track ideas, votes, who voted, and then what do we do once we accept and actually deliver those ideas? Because as you can see here, we have 20,000 plus ideas that have been requested, and to date, about 15% of those have been delivered. So that's a lot of ideas that we've delivered on. So we want to share that with our customers. So we then post in our tips and info, or even in our blogs, stories about hey guys, thanks for sharing your ideas with us. We are listening to you, and we have delivered on these ideas in the last 3 months, and we do that on a regular basis. So I'd say as a general rule, every 3 months we're posting, oh, we've just delivered on these ideas, please continue to share your ideas with us. So then the other very important area for us is, how do we measure success? You can go into the Intelligent reporting tool, or any platform's tool that you use, and look in metrics and just get buried and spend a week in there, and just looking at numbers. But we've found that these are the areas that are the most important to us. Is we look at content, we look at the number of posts and the number of comments or replies. So that just basically shows activity and engagement. Are people replying? What's the response rate? How quickly are we getting them answers? And then very much tied to that is the engagement and interactions, if you will, specifically when someone suggests an answer or verifies an answer or likes a post. Those three are telling us that we're answering their questions, we're solving their problems. And then from there, we can derive that a percentage of the people who see verified answers and liked comment posts and suggested answers are not calling our support center. And then we can, we have a formula where we can say this is how many support calls we are avoiding on a monthly basis. We then look at also views and unique views. We have to look at these together, because sometimes we find that our views might be going down, but our unique views are going up. So that's actually just perfectly fine, because it's telling us that a user is spending fewer clicks to get to their answer. Not many of our users are actually just visiting the community and browsing. They really go there with a very specific purpose, an issue, a question. So we don't want them to have to click 20 times to find their answer. And as I mentioned before, while we look at the overall community state and health, each of our neighborhood or product group managers spends a great deal of time looking at the detailed view of each of their neighborhoods and trying to see how they can improve activity, engagement, and so on. And then a few future products that we're thinking about is we want to expand search. So right now, when you search, you're just searching within the community. We want to add a feature where a user has the option to toggle and choose to expand the search across all of Micro Focus. We're also just about to launch in the next couple of weeks a suggested for you. We're going to start this with our blog area. So when someone visits our blog landing page, they will get 4 articles that are suggested for them based on their clicks. We've also looked into how to embed the community into our products so that when someone is working in one of our products, they don't have to jump out of their work window and open a new window to ask a question. They can just ask it right there. That one's tricky, but we're not giving up on that one. We think that could be extremely exciting. We're also working closely across Micro Focus with our blog strategy because we have a corporate blog. We have some articles, blog articles that are written by third parties, and then we have our product blogs within the community. So we want to make sure that all 3 types of blog articles are visible to our users. And again, that's suggested for you comes into play there. And then some customization just to make either internally managing a community easier for us and for our internal stakeholders, or just to improve navigation or whatever it might be for our users. Customization is tricky. We don't want to do too much customization because each time we upgrade our platform, we have to take into consideration all the projects that we've customized and make sure that those don't break along the upgrade process. So it is important to do customization because it is going to improve your specific needs, but at the same time, there has to be a balance there. So those are some of the future projects we're working on, and that's it.
Wow. So I have a few questions from the audience, and in fact, I have a
Sure.
few questions on myself. But the first question comes from Tim Bamber. For those groups that are lacking engagement, what has been your approach to increase engagement with them? Have you found any particular tactics that work better than others? Can you make a recommendation on that?
Yeah, so a lot of times when we're seeing a lacking engagement, we're finding that it's if we start to proactively post tips or write more blog articles, so we reach out to our internal stakeholders and ask for more posts, that helps a great deal. Sometimes we might post questions ourselves to get the conversation going. So we have a couple of our neighborhood managers are really good at that. So it's, you don't have to just ask a question about how to use the product in the community. We as community managers can start a conversation. So, what do you think of the latest release of this product, or just kind of get a
Yeah,
conversation going.
yeah.
And then we also find that promoting the community helps a great deal. So we have our social media team that helps us with campaigns. And when we see a specific area in the community, we focus just on promoting that. And we also do things like we'll work with our support team where we have them simply add an email signature promoting the community, or the recording that they listen to when they're on hold with support will mention the community, things like that.
All right. Good. Excellent. So I have another comment. It's from Oliver Byrne from ARM. Love the commitment to ideation. It's very easy for ideas to disappear into the black hole. So it's awesome to see the transparency and follow through on delivering. That's basically a compliment and a comment.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
go ahead.
challenging, Oliver. I mean, it is
And
challenging. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's we do have some areas where they are getting so many ideas that they've maybe a few months ago they were feeling a bit overwhelmed. And some teams have had to add idea moderators from their product management team to make sure they stay on top of all of the ideas that are coming in. I think having that integration with Tableau and being able to uh, look at the reporting against your SLAs is critical.
excellent. So the members who are new, this is your Kodak moment to type in a few questions if you still want to. I have a question related to that.
Hmm.
It's a classic, right? Ideation is a very risky process because internally your stakeholders need to be willing to, first of all, respond and also act on them. Can you give us a ballpark figure of how much of your development time is reserved for the typical ideations and how much of the teams, how much distribution is there on the teams? Is everybody doing the same amount of effort on getting these things done, or do teams have their own set of rules of building on the request of the customer? Can you give us an idea of how that works inside?
Yeah, so we have there's one team in particular they were the pioneers. They were the ones who launched Idea Exchange in the community first, and they did a fantastic job of putting together processes, SLAs, and whatnot. We try to share that model with the other teams. Some choose to follow that model, some don't. So some do have different
Yeah,
they follow different models. Some are more formal than others. Some areas are more active than others, right? So the team that are I call our pioneers, they tend to have a great deal of ideas. I mean, sometimes when I'm doing my metrics graphs, the number of ideas in for that particular product group is actually off the chart. I mean, literally off the chart. So it's good that they have a very formal process in place. We also work closely with them, and they're the ones who come to us with a lot of requests for customization. I'd like to be able to do this. It would make my job so much easier. Or how can we do, whatever it might be, but we do work very closely with them on that. We also have another interesting thing that's going on right now, in that some product groups are very different than others. So security specifically, they're very different, and they've actually requested that their idea exchanges become private. Their security customers don't want to share their enhancement requests with others.
makes sense.
So we're actually moving and changing those to become private, and then you have to be accepted into the group, and we check and make sure that they're an active support customer before we allow them to enter. We're also looking at the option to perhaps have the ability for an author to post their idea as an anonymous user. So internally, behind the scenes, we would still see who posted the idea, but others wouldn't know that,
Exactly.
they don't want to see that, they don't want to show any of their cards. So that's another area where we're working on.
So I have one final question, and then we're going to stop right at the dot that we promised we would do. Last time you were not there, but last time we had Jashai talk about ROI and how difficult it sometimes is to sell a community inside the company.
Hmm.
But I'm reversing the question. Would Micro Focus be able to function without the community?
I don't think so. I think that across Micro Focus, there is everyone is bought in. Everyone has bought into community. They see the importance of it. Um, our team reports into the customer success organization. We were previously in marketing, and we've been part of the support organization as well. As part of customer success, I still, as the community manager, join the quarterly business reviews for the marketing organization for support to give them an update on community. They don't ask other teams to do that outside of their groups.
Yeah.
So they understand how important it is. From an investment, we do share the cost across a couple of different organizations within Micro Focus. So, and if you can see from the slide I shared with the stakeholders we work with, while it's not always easy, most of those people that we work with, product marketing, product management, pre-sales, everyone, they understand how important it is. And it's an opportunity, it's an easy way for us to communicate with our customers on a daily basis.
Excellent. So I want to leave it at here at this point. Again, Raquel, I'm impressed, and I've been doing this for 15 years or 16 years. So yeah, this is like some nirvana for a lot of people, and a very big inspiration, and I'm really grateful. So this leaves us with a final slide, and it's simple. Thank you for all for joining, and hope to see you next time, of course. The speaker will be announced in due course, but the next session will be March 11, 2022, which is a slot that seems to be not on anybody's holiday. And we are looking forward to seeing you again at the same time and the same duration. If you want to talk to me, then yeah, I'm Wilfried. I'm open to any conversation, and you can contact me at wilfried@rijsemus.co, not .com, and also on LinkedIn. So thank you, and see you next time.